All right, I wanted to, before we dive into the back test for today, I wanted to just do a quick introduction of this database that I've mentioned that we're working on. It's called Multiply, and this is the prototype. It's not live yet, but it should be up in the next probably week or so. And basically, it's just essentially it's just a database of channels and what's the performance like, and is there correlation, right? So if you pick 2 or 3 channels that have good performance, well, you don't want to trade them if they're correlated, right? If they all trade the same things, right? That's redundant. So it's just a way to kind of help people get some transparency in this market space, because I know there's a lot of fraud and a lot of people that cheat and lie and pretend to be stuff they're not. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Like I said, it should be live pretty soon, and just the goal is to give people transparency, help them understand, like, does this channel, will it work with a copier, will it, all that good stuff. So that's what that looks like. And yeah. Okay, finally. Time for another April back test. And this one is on FXTM, who we have tested a number of times. Yeah, just a note about the format. I mean, there's a lot of chatter. It is a free channel. I am convinced it's an aggregator, just because the format changes. And this number right here, keep your investment coming, buddies. This is, if you followed these videos, you know that this phrase appears on a lot of channels, which I think is weird because it's such a weird way to phrase things. And then there's another one. It's let's scalping sell gold slowly. Is it? So it's like really bad English. So it's probably a signal aggregator, probably somebody from like Africa or something like that. A lot of chatter, but overall the signal format's decent. The replies get a little annoying because they sometimes they're unpredictable, and with a reply it looks just like a trade, and so you got to filter it out unless it's an edit. So, but I just run this, like it is. No special stop loss, no trailing stop loss, nothing. I just want to see if it's profitable. And so you can see the gross profit was like $12,571.10, which is insane. But it lost like $10,185. So the net for the month is about 23%, just under 24%. And so here we can see the equity curve. It looks like we kind of plateaued and just sort of stayed, kind of here in this area for a majority of the month. Entries by hours for this specific month, mostly Europe and US sessions. We can see entry by weekdays, entries by month, April, of course. Our scatter plot here, which is always one of my favorite things. What is unusual about this one is there is no like trajectory line, and I'm not sure why that is. But here in this part, of course, these are the losses. Here on the positive part, these are the wins. So you got like one that barely won anything, and then you can see like that's a nice slope upward. A lot of currency pairs, a lot of gold. Right, a lot of these kind of aggregate channels trade a lot of gold. So I think as far as a correlation, like a signal correlation, if you were going to follow this channel in some way, like with a copier, our copier or someone else's copier, you would want to be mindful of what they trade versus what another channel trades, like I mentioned at the intro to the video. So there you have it, about 24% for this month. That's pretty good. And so I'm curious to see whether usually you'll see big spikes like this on a channel and then the next month is not so good. This is kind of the nature of trading, right? Because trading is essentially, let's face it, it's like educated guessing, right? You think you know what's going to happen, but you're not always right.